speaking of flavor, HotPoint, man, was my favorite flavors.
Really?
You can guess how it's center. Hapo kwa kona.
No, unajua kuna square meter kaa zote. Wametake like half of Sarit Center.
I'm telling you.
Your design.
And we've got the CEO, young CEO.
Bubbly.
He's like 20 years old. Ravi Kanani.
Yeah.
He took over from his folks and he's taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
They've got some new partners. They've got a new brand on board.
Yep.
You know what
to Black and Decker.
And when I was living in America.
Oh, okay, bro.
No,
don't make us feel like we've not made it in life.
I'm just telling you, Black and Decker is a big name. Jina kubwa.
Nasika maumunywa. Ni Black
and Decker. And they've got some great products, man. You need to check it out, folks. If you next time you're at HotPoint, just ask for Black and Decker.
Mazee Jeffrey, unajua unafanya tunafeel kama we've not made it in life.
No, I'm just telling you, man.
It's okay.
It's things that I've been through, things that I've heard.
Even me, the last time I swung by
America.
Naivas.
Ravi Kanani, welcome to Hot 96.
Great, thanks for having me.
Good to see you again, man.
Happy to be here this morning.
And Jeff likes to remind us that mwezi iko kwa kona. You understand Swahili, right?
Yeah.
Mwezi iko kwa kona. Do you know what that means?
Mwezi iko kwa kona. People are broke.
I don't know. Yes, I think to an extent with all the increase in taxes, it's a bit of a difficult time. But I think one of the reasons I love Kenya is Kenyans are so resilient.
Yeah.
You can't keep us down. So I'm kind of quietly optimistic that this is just a phase.
And also, because you were saying earlier on, it's Easter holidays.
Yes.
So maybe people have gone to Mashinani
already.
They've gone to visit the grandparents.
Yeah.
They're out of town.
Yes.
So maybe that's another reason.
But the CEO here doesn't seem like shaking about current economics.
CEO is smiling all the way to the bank.
Yeah. People are still buying.
People are still buying.
Yeah, I think you have to create that environment where even if the market is, let's say, not at its peak,
if it's shaky,
how can you make them come to you as opposed to someone else? So there's always something to work on. So even if the market is not growing, how can we make the experience at HotPoint so much better so that that customer that does want to buy is going to choose HotPoint over somewhere else?
How do you make it happen? How do you
convince me that when I enter HotPoint, you're going to make me so comfortable?
Or I'm at Sarit Center.
Yes.
I want to go buy an iron box.
Okay.
And then what's going to convince me to swing by HotPoint instead of any other outlet that is selling household items?
Yes.
Right. So since you've picked Sarit, let's start there. It's over 16,000 square feet of space we have. So
that's bigger than my house.
That's an optical nutrition.
That's bigger than my house.
So our idea is, when someone wants to buy something, we want to give them a really wide selection. So no matter, let's say, the size of their pocket, they'll find something suitable. So currently we have 23 brands. That number is always growing. So we really want to offer customers a very wide choice. Without our customers, we don't exist. So we don't take that for granted. And we're always looking at what we can do to improve their experience.
Is that your biggest branch?
It is. It is our biggest branch. Also our oldest and our first branch.
Yep.
So we've had a long history, let's say, at the Sarit Center. Having said that, I think bigger stores is something that might be part of our future soon to come.
Okay, so where else can we find HotPoint? If you're in town, if you're visiting a mall, where can we find HotPoint?
So we've got 12 stores currently. Hopefully in 2 years we'll have up to 20. So we are growing. We're in Nairobi, Mombasa, Eldoret, Kisumu, and several locations around Nairobi. So we are all over.
Like Karen?
Yes, we're in Karen, in Bina. We're in Karen, we're in CBD, we're on Mombasa Road, Village Market, VM, Riara, Junction. Yeah, so all round.
Amazing. So tell us about this exciting partnership.
Yes, with Black and Decker. Go on. In fact, don't tell us, show us. Tosh.
Black and Decker for us was kind of a organic partnership, because it was our customers walking into our shop and coming to the point of listening to our customers. Our customers were saying, hey, do you guys have Black & Decker? You know, the product used to be available in the market and we can't find it, and we really want it. And we reached out to Black & Decker. At the same time, Black & Decker was looking for a partner. And yeah, here we are. So Black & Decker is well known for small domestic appliances.
Right. Such as,
for example,
Yeah.
we've
A
got
blender.
This is a glass kettle. So they're known for like funky kind of designs, a little bit different. So for example, most of the kettles we see, you know, they're usually steely or plasticky.
Yeah.
So this is just something like, something different.
Like a see-through
See-through,
sort of.
stainless steel
Stainless
bottom,
steel.
glass.
That's
so
an electric kettle.
Yes.
Electric.
Electric. And then you press over there.
Yes.
Water and everything.
Yeah.
And then the chini
With
kuna connection.
connection copy.
So
Kuna base,
it's-
kuna base.
Yeah. It's
Ina kamardadi.
Sana.
Nyina wa munene.
Beautiful. That's the base?
No, we know this is just a little, you know, we know you guys are busy here,
Yeah.
and you know, you start early in the morning,
We do.
as I learned today, so you can
Coffee.
you can fill it in.
6 o'clock hour.
That's beautiful.
Amazing.
But this is just for hot water, right?
Yes.
Coffee is separate, or
We've
what?
we've got a whole range of coffee makers,
Yeah.
vacuum cleaners,
Gangali.
blenders,
Amazing.
fans,
Ini
pressure
aisa.
washers. So there's a really wide range of products from Black & Decker.
Yeah.
They've been around for more than 100 years, which I didn't know. You know,
Wow.
I wish I was 20. I'm almost hitting 40. But so Black & Decker has been around for ages, which I knew they were an old brand, but over 100 years is something amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really aggressive about
The sales and the.
exactly, and they're looking at Kenya as their launch pad for East and Central Africa.
Wow.
They're setting up a local office.
Yeah.
And they're really supporting us to make sure we can get Black & Decker to as many Kenyan consumers as possible.
Is this available already? Is it on the shelves?
It is, and for throughout this month we have a Black & Decker month at HotPoint in line with the launch we're doing, and almost all the Black & Decker products are on exciting offers.
Okay, so kuna offer, so unapata everything off shelf at a discounted rate.
Yes.
Sindio?
Yeah.
Amazing. But let's talk about complementing each other as brands. Kuna HotPoint on one side, and then we do have Black & Decker. How is this partnership gonna ensure that both of you do actually benefit?
It's a win-win.
Situation.
When we started discussing with Black & Decker, we realized we had alignment on the vision and what we wanted to do. Let's say, like I mentioned, we've got over 23 brands, so we're very careful before we add another brand. We don't want to add something that's not adding to the portfolio of products we have. But with Black & Decker, you know, when they showed us their product range, we saw some really unique products. You know, for example, I've got my 3-year-old son who likes to play around with everything. So they've got a bladeless fan, for example.
Yeah.
A really powerful fan, but, you know, no blades. And, you know, for someone that has a young son running around the house, that's kind of, you know,
Safe.
ideal, safe.
Yes.
And like that, they've got so many unique products that we didn't have as part of our lineup. So I think that was one area we were excited to work on. And then second, most of the partners we've worked with for many years. So like HotPoint's been there for 40 years, Black & Decker has been there for 100 years. So it's not about what can we do today. It's, you know, let's put a plan and a structure in place. So 1, 2, 3, 5 years from now, you know, we work towards a common goal and vision. So we're aligned on that long-term vision. And essentially our goal is how can we get Black & Decker to as many Kenyan consumers as possible. So this year our goal is 250 different retailers to be stocking Black & Decker. By next year over 400.
Joe,
But okay.
12 outlets so far. 20 is the goal for end of
In 2 years' time.
in 2 years. Ooh, that's very ambitious,
huge,
huh?
yeah.
So
That's
no,
huge.
so this is HotPoint and all our partners and distributors.
Yeah.
So we want it available, in all the Naivases, Quick Marts, Carrefours. We want Black & Decker everywhere, because for us, let's say when we believe in a product, then the idea is every Kenyan should have access to it.
But confusion is part of the game when it comes to brands, because we have the real products and genuine, and we have the counterfeits, right? And we've had Black & Decker in different stores before this partnership. So how is it going to play out going forward? How are we going to know that this is HotPoint's Black & Decker, or this is just either a counterfeit from Ludhuli or any other place in town and stuff like that?
Oh, ile nchi inaitwaje?
Gani ile?
Ila ni hao ma.
Yeah, because it's been there.
Yes.
Okay, so how different is it going to be going forward now that there's a partnership between HotPoint and Black & Decker? Yet we've had people who've been selling and reselling Black & Decker before this partnership.
Yeah, I think in this market, it's kind of something you live with. And not only for Black & Decker, but for many of the brands we deal with, we find counterfeit products. We are working on a solution whereby everything sold from HotPoint will have a QR code.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to scan that QR code and register your warranty. So that's something we'll be launching soon, and that will apply to any product sold from HotPoint. So as soon as you see that QR code, you scan it, you'll know that that's a HotPoint product, because we'll be marketing that what it means, how to know that it's purchased from HotPoint and it's genuine.
And genuine. Tell me something. Working in the East Africa region, right? EAC, Comesa, the whole region. Is it getting easier? Because before it was so tough, breaking into these markets and then taxes and VAT. Is it getting easier?
It's getting easier, yes. Is it as easy and smooth as it should be? Probably not. There's still lots of loopholes. Challenges.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, everybody wants to make a buck along the way.
Kila
And
mtu
certain
anataka kakiru. Kaching.
old habits die hard, let's say.
Yeah.
But it's definitely better than it was, and I'm always an optimist. I feel we're on a journey and we're on the right path. Maybe, we take some steps back, but overall, if you look at a longer term timeline, I think we're definitely moving forward and in the right direction.
When your little boy turns 40, I'm not going to say what age you're going to be, when he takes over from you, will HotPoint be like the name in the region? We're talking East and Central Africa.
That is the goal. That's my job, to make sure that happens. And yeah, we're working very hard towards achieving that. But I think it will be, coming back to the point we made earlier, how well we're able to serve our customers that will define whether we reach there or not. I think one of the concerns that I have, or a lot of big businesses have, is sometimes as a business grows, you forget what it is that allowed you to grow in the first place. So, in our case, we always keep reminding ourselves that it's the customer that helped you grow. So whatever growth you achieve, never ever take your eye off or forget the customer.
Or take it for granted.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we've known HotPoint over the years. You've been selling like household items, and we're talking about fridges or washing machines,
gas
cookers, and television sets, and stuff like that. Yeah, okay. But Black & Decker primarily is known for handy tools, right? And not household items.
You're moving away from the normal.
You're getting it. So drills and hammers and carpentry tools and stuff like that. Is this an entry point into maybe trying to test out the hardware tools market now that you've brought Black & Decker on board?
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I'm calling it Black & Decker, but actually it's called Stanley Black & Decker. That's the full brand name. Yeah. So yes, we are going to move into especially the domestic side of their tool offering. They have a range of pressure washers and a whole, let's say, range of high-end, similar to the Black & Decker on the appliances side, tools that have been there for ages. In fact, they were telling me the other day that the first the Apollo missions to the moon, they were using some tools to remove the rock, and those were Stanley Black & Decker tools. So these products go back a long way. They have a rich tradition and history. And we're kind of excited that and grateful that they've chosen us to be their local partner and representative of the region. And we're excited to see what we can achieve.
Do you find Kenyans interested in DIY? America is a big thing over there.
Yeah, do it yourself.
They love, buy the tools, buy the drill.
Yeah.
Nitengeneza hii
kitchen yangu, I'll fix the shelves, cabinetry, I'll work on it, my car.
The shower.
Your shower. Ni sababu mafundi ni expensive. Carpenter ni expensive. No,
Kinovia atakucharge extra.
Na wambua atenda na pipe yako ya maji. You design. So are Kenyans big on that?
Yeah, are they big on DIY?
100%. And I think it's not only in terms of DIY, but like when I reflect, let's say that to make it in Kenya, you have to make it on your own. In other countries, if you're unemployed, you get this kind of a government benefit or whatever it is. I would say that in Kenya, to make it's all on you. You kind of have to do it yourself, right? So I think just by nature, Kenyans are used to that, like kind of fending for themselves, doing things on their own. And I think there is a big culture of that. And let's say even personally at home, I want my son to cultivate good habits. So we're going to get the pressure washer. I want to wash the car with him. It's also about creating memories and, experiences. So sometimes, yes, there are other ways to do things. But I don't think it replaces some of these things that, for example, a father and son washing their car together. That's a core memory, a nice kind of activity that you can do. Of course, it's a lot harder with a bucket and a cloth, but with a pressure washer, it just makes things so much easier. And it's about memories and experiences.
I had some dampness in my room downstairs, huh?
Today or tomorrow?
No, I had for a while, for a couple of months, dampness. And I didn't know how to get rid of it. And I got a dehumidifier.
That's the humidifier.
Yes, which sucks the air out of the room or the dampness and makes it less damp.
Yeah, sababu molds zinaanza kugrow.
This was HotPoint. But I'm so useless at that. I had to get, advice how to
get rid of that.
Yes.
Amazing.
And this is stuff that's available and it solved a big part of the problem.
We live to help our customers live better. So all the products we sell, it's about enhancing someone's lifestyle.
Yeah.
If it's a washing machine, hey, I'm working, husband and wife are working, I can quickly put something in there so I can spend more time with my kids.
Yeah.
So every kind of product we sell, it's from that lens of, is it improving the lives of our customer?
Do you repair?
Yes, we do. Everything we sell, we repair. We've got service centers all around the country. Every product we sell comes with a warranty. An example, let's say we've just launched Black & Decker. With the first shipment
Stanley Black & Decker.
Stanley Black & Decker. With the first shipment we bought in, it came with spare parts. So we ordered a lot of parts. So we stock parts locally, and it's a big part of our selling point. And coming to the point you made earlier on counterfeit, how does someone combat counterfeit? Generally, counterfeits, you don't get the service. So it may appear cheap on day one, but God forbid anything were to go wrong, then you're on your own. But anything sold at HotPoint, we're always there.
Amazing.
So my washer, dryer, everything. If something happens to my dryer, I just call you guys.
Yes.
If it's within warranty.
Yes, and even out of warranty, at a fee, we do repair it. And we would, for something like a washing machine or a fridge, we would come to your house and repair it there.
Yes.
Because it's kind of, nobody wants to unplug it, put it,
pick up.
Exactly.
Kenovia will charge extra.
Do you speak Swahili?
My Swahili is not good enough to go on radio. I understand fully.
Lakini kuongea
I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm making sure that my son is going to speak beautiful, fluent Swahili.
really
You ask about a TV. Si ulisema utafuta TV.
sana ya mama ya nyina wa munene wa Western
Yes.
yake ilichomeka.
Are there sales?
Began on Monday,
Oh.
Monday the 14th, and it's running for a month. We've got over 500 products on offer. So
500.
yeah, it's a good time to be a shopper. Just pop into the store, see what we have. There's a lot, 500 as you can imagine.
Yes.
Almost everything under the sun.
Yeah, folks, pop into Sarit Center if you can. If
Yes.
not, if you're near Village Market as well. It's 12 stores across the country so far. And walk in. Mombasa, Eldoret, the whole shebang.
Yep.
There are sales. 500 products on sale.
Na sales inamaanisha unaipata at a cheaper price right now.
Much cheaper.
Ukisleki laces kuwa a bit steep.
And it's for a month.
Your design.
It's for a month.
Yeah.
So, mwezi ukiwa kokona, there's still time. Kakiru kakingia.
Your design.
Oh, sio.
Amazing sana.
In a few months' time, we're launching 2 more, let's say, global powerhouse brands.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It'll be very big news when it comes, but I'll save the surprise until then. Last time I was here, we were celebrating our 40th anniversary.
Correct.
It worked, let's say, so well for us and our stakeholders that we're going to make this an annual event. So we will be celebrating now our 41st anniversary this year and have some amazing sales, CSR activities, and a whole bunch of things going around that. And yeah, before I leave, also a big thank you to all our staff. I think, without them, we would not be able to serve our customers as we do. We've had a good year, and a large part of it has been, to do with our great team. So yeah, big up to the team, and yeah, thanks for having me on this morning, and wishing all Kenyans a very happy Easter.